the majority of things that people talk about in the business world is mindset. It's how to, change your mindset, how to use systems. What I do is something that's really different, because I believe that we bypass some of the most deep foundational things that if we don't do, we can throw all of the tools and all of the cool stuff on top of it and never actually get there. Now, I know I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16. I'm 64 years old, been around, and I know that what's really, really gotten me there, first of all, to be in business since I was 16 and be 64, resiliency, 100%. We need resilience, but resilience, what does it mean? It means the ability to fail and get up again, the ability to crash and burn and get up again. But how do you do that if you don't have some deep foundational knowledge about yourself? I don't like to have to do things over and over again. So in other words, I think when, Kimberly was saying that I have 99% results with people that I work with in healing trauma, those are business people, a lot of them. And so what does trauma or healing have to do with business and leadership and resilience? Everything. Almost all of us have had some nervous system dysregulation. You hear about it all day long today, vagus nerve, things like that. You don't hear it often in business. But I find that if somebody has a glass ceiling, like they're having problems selling, or they're having problems hitting over 100,000, or they're having problems with leading a team, or they're having problems getting promoted, or they're having problems, anything related to a challenge, typically starts with who you are inside, what platform your nervous system and your thoughts and everything are. But if we only try to change our thoughts, it's not going to work, because just changing our thoughts or just talking about it doesn't change the whole system. So years ago, I really did a deep dive into what does it take to really be a full human that feels so resilient, so badass, so amazing that nothing can stop you, right? Okay. Now, we also hear a lot about self-love, right? Self-love. I think everybody that's a great leader knows how to love themselves, but none of us really talk about how to do that. So let's take a moment of a deep dive into why I think the 3 pillars to self-love is what every leader, business person, entrepreneur, and actually every human on the planet needs to know and have to be able to build their best life. You can't lead from a place of brokenness. You can't lead your family, your work, anything. Just doesn't happen. So when we figure out where it is that we are shaky, we can do something about it. Okay, so here we go. The problem that most people have these days is that lack of self-love. But what is self-love? It's not a bubble bath. It's actually the ability to really feel confident, trusting, and respectful of yourself. The 3 pillars below self-love, why self-love is so hard to attain, is we're liars. This is going to shock you. We're all liars. We spend all day long lying to ourselves in our head. 250 times at least, it's thousands of times, but let's just say 250 times a day, you lie to yourself. I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. I'm not going to eat that muffin. This time when I talk to so-and-so, I'm going to be this way. All the time, lying. Now, so what do we think about liars? Nobody likes a liar. Nobody respects a liar. Nobody wants to love a liar. So if we are lying to ourselves all day long, trust me, your subconscious mind is tracking the fact that you are a liar. You may have a moment where you're like, I just don't believe that. Okay, just track it though. I want you to know how many times you said you're going to get up without hitting the snooze, or not eat that muffin, or go to the gym at 6, or work out, or not yell at your kid, or whatever it is. I guarantee you it's a lot. Lots of research backs this up. Okay, so at the bottom line, if you're a liar, you have no self-trust. You have no self-respect. You definitely are not going to love yourself. We are just encoded to distrust, disrespect, and not love liars. That's what society tells us. Liars are unsavory characters. You can't trust them. So how do we get over that? Well, first of all, we've got to go down to the bottom pillar, which literally is self-commitment. The majority of us break our commitments to ourselves. Maybe you're really good at keeping your commitment to other people, like you have accountability buddies, so you go to the gym. But self-commitments, that's what that lying is all about. When you say you're going to get up at 6 and you don't, you lack self-commitment, so you can't build self-trust. When you say that you are going to not eat the sugar and you do it, yeah. So while you erode your self-trust by a lack of self-commitment, you don't have a solid foundation in which to lead. And you certainly are not going to be as resilient as you could be. Now, look, you could be really successful in one area or two areas, but keep falling down in other areas. I think success needs across the board. It means in your relationships, it means with your money, it means in your business, it means with your friendships, parenting, across the board, across the board. Okay, self-commitment is pillar one. We need to build self-commitment. Self-commitment leads to self-trust. Self-trust leads to self-respect. Once you have self-commitment, self-trust, and self-respect, you automatically fall in love with yourself. You don't have to try to love yourself. You're a lovable person. Who doesn't love somebody who's got commitment and trust and respect is respectful? We all do. And this is going to be so much easier than you believe, because where we all start then is something really small. The way to build self-commitment is not to take on huge things. The way to build self-commitment is to actually tack on very, very small 30-day challenges that you know you're going to succeed at to start with. You can get bigger, bolder later. But for instance, if you were to add 10 calf raises to while you were brushing your teeth, and you did them for 30 days in a row, and I mean not missed one day, 30 days in a row. And if at day 29 you forget it, you start all the way back to day one, because that self-commitment is important. Next month, kick that in the butt, and then next month do something a little bit harder. But the main thing is to pick something super, super small that you can actually succeed at, because we follow success. When you keep setting yourself up for failure by keep saying things like, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, and then you don't, and you keep saying it, but you don't, and it's been years. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and then you don't, and it's been years. You are eroding the foundational core of your belief system about yourself. You do not know how to lead yourself. You do not know how to have resilience. You cannot be as effective if you don't get that foundation under you. So, self-commitment builds self-trust, builds self-respect, builds self-love. When you have those ingredients, you don't second-guess yourself. You show up in a way that's powerful and people respect and they see, because you're already loving and respecting in that yourself. Yeah, absolutely. People vibe on that. They see that, they feel it. Absolutely. Their nervous system will sync up with yours. The thing that we don't talk about mostly in leadership or resilience or anything in business is your chemistry. Your chemistry, your vibe, how you feel inside projects out faster than anything you will ever say. Faster. Your stability, your foundation is what is speaking to everybody else. It's shouting out loud to everybody else. So when you come in on a shaky foundation because you don't trust yourself, other people do not want to trust you either. Bottom line, nor will you trust anybody, because if you don't trust yourself, you're certainly not going to trust anybody else. So I think this is the foundational piece that doesn't get addressed, talked about, or taught enough when it comes to leadership. You have to be able to lead yourself. So please think about this. Go ahead and find one thing, one step that you can do, one tiny moment that you're able to start doing something that builds that resilience of self-commitment, and do it every single day. Do not get lofty. Every time you want to do something huge, don't do it. Do something small. Eventually, as every 30-day turns around, and you do this every 30 days for the rest of your life, because you'll build that self-trust. And here's the other secret. Take a pen and a piece of paper and pen, not your computer. And I want you to spend a few days little chunks of time for a few days, maybe a weekend, writing down all the lies you tell to yourself, all those shoulds in your head, every single thing you've ever had in your head. I'm going to learn piano. It's been years you haven't. Write it down. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Write it down. I'm going to stop drinking caffeine. Write it down. Everything you say but have not done. And it's a list in your head. It's taken up so many resources that's insane. First of all, real estate in your head is valuable. That's a lot of crap up there. Write it all down. Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Now you've got your piece of paper. I did a TEDx talk on this. You got your piece of paper out. I want you to look at all these things that you wrote down. Now you may agree that they should be done. You may agree that losing that 10 pounds would be awesome, but it's been on your list for 5 years. It's time to just scratch it off. So I want you to scratch every single one of those things you wrote off the list. You're like, Tanya, are you kidding me? But it's important for my health. It's important for my business. It's important for that. I get you, but you're not doing it. So stop lying to yourself. Just scratch them off. Scratch them off, and then pick that one thing. Like I said, that one thing success. 10 calf raises every day. First of all, if you don't know how badass calf raises are, 10 calf raises is incredible for your whole health. Your calves have a lot to do with your blood sugar and your health and everything else. So you pick something solid like that. Do it. That was a workout today. Stop making things so impossible to do in your busy life and make them doable so that you get success. You could do 10 push-ups off the counter while you're waiting for your coffee. Anyway, write down all the stuff that's in your head that isn't yet happening, that's not happening. Do not have a to-do list on your computer or somewhere that's miles long that you're never going to get to. You're just going to feel crappy about yourself. That's how to build crappy feelings, not self-love. Scratch them all off. Now, take one at a time when you come back to doing something. Take one thing at a time to add to your to-do list, not 100 things, okay? Self-commitment builds self-trust, builds self-respect, builds self-love. Leadership starts with you. If you cannot lead yourself, it's very difficult to lead other people. You're always going to crash and burn.
And every story can change the world. Together we are Global Speakers Talk.